The story begins with the fact that lightning strikes, thunder is heard. Consists impression, what strength caused by not bad weather and somehow another an anomaly. Before a guy, Li Tai-Xuan, which has luxurious white hair. Into the sky appear 3 images, they angry by that. What he named himself, the ruler, they order him, give the book of heaven. Li Tai-Xuan does not want to obey the Qin Emperor Wu Shizune and the demon Jinwu, as if mockingly with that what they, the 3 of them, have only the highest to copy. The guy is angry, shakes hands in fists. He obviously not is planning to give that, what opponents want from him. He shouts, what if they want, get from him a book, then should die together from by him. Such disobedience provokes the wrath of demons. Explosion. To Li through a bright flash only, and are reported exclamations, you, bastard, idiot, you try destroy all immortal world? As you dare creature? Blue-eyed boy wakes up in trains as if from horror he understands what is on earth and does not compete with its opponents. So, turns out they more not exploded, causing to someone damage. The Book of Heaven returned the boy to the past. Now he is not Tai-Xuan Tianjun, which ruled 3,000 the worlds thanks to his own forces. Him immortal body, created for 10,000 years, it turned out on mortal earth. Voice conductors brings out Li with thoughts he turns out to be on station's Huzhou, which for him is only distant in memory, but despite on it, he more remembers her. Boy mentions what for the first time he found himself in this place. When him was 20 years, straightening up with a suitcase to taxi, he feels in his own body glimmer forces, Tai Xuanya. Is it possible consider it a blessing? He sits down in taxi, and in this moment sounds call, so. Li already forgot what such telephone challenges, but this one recognized immediately. It definitely him girl, which is calling in form, which in a good-for-nothing guy. Ago, what he is late on dinner for employees, schools, this pressure with girls' side, stressful a guy. Memories appear in his head. Exactly. He came to Chuzhou to get to know with family this one, harlots, and do her proposal, but she small others' plans. Girl invited a lot of guy from the 2nd generation on name Ian Shaokan. He from their friends brutally beat Li because he allegedly took another woman. In this one, it's time girlfriend laughed from his feelings. Ian mercilessly pouring face, a guy acid Li was sitting near tank from garbage and not understood what him do. A little later, the boy was imprisoned for rape for 10 years. In this one difficult moment, life he got to know harsh heavenly reality, him cruelly threw to camera and left on loneliness. Father Li was patient. He sold all property in order to, though something help son. Bringing all his savings, he begged on his knees to let Li go prison. But when boy came back the only what he saw? It cold corpse father in him within all shrunk. The next years of Li's life were not easier than the previous ones. He was sitting on the street, as it were homeless dog, and requested alms boy not had as no housing, yes and goals. Surroundings watched on him within disgust. Eventually, he did suicide. It was as if hidden blessing, which one helped his lost soul to get to the kingdom of Shuixian, becoming descendant Tai-Xuan. Now, Li is back on Earth again. He has a chance to change the course of events. Boy was stupid and naive, but now he reached greatness. Li gets angry on himself by committed mistakes, which prevented him get more. While the boy delved into his memories, he and the taxi driver almost did not fall in an accident blue machine, as if deliberately loses management and is heading on full speed to them. Li shouts the driver in order to that dodged, but that nothing not has time do. Cars are facing taxi driver hits, debris knocked out glass. After recovering, he returns to his own passenger in order to find out all with by him good, but instead sees only an empty back seat. Where did he go? Boy. In this time, Blue Machine not stopped his own movement. Faced with more with one, she is heading direct to cliff. But for some reason, it stops abruptly. More precisely, Li stops her, grabbing the ledge on trunk. He saves people from deaths having used own supernatural strength. People, coming out with their own cars, are surprised seen and are removed all on the camera. There impresses not only road accident, but and divine power a guy. In this time, strength Li run out him annoying what people around. Not they call on help and simply are watching on him abnormal strength, but now he very weak, but thinks as get yours back power. Lee departs from cars, thinking what by such indifferently attitude these people would ordered in his kingdom. At this time, a man gets out of the salvaged car, a man with a young girl, heading straight for Lee. To a guy is reported male voice, which urges him not to go. Lee forced rotates on call. The boy sees in front of him a man in a white shirt and overalls, and frail, attractive a girl with pink hair. They are watching on him with respect and thank you by salvation. In response, Lee pathetically replies that it is an insignificant thing for him, and to the saved, there is no about what to worry. But man says what has enough connections and may offer own help. Lee proudly refuses the offer and wants to leave. He is stopped by a loud exclamation young girls. Their family not used to someone's kindness, therefore girl very hard wants something to thank Lee. Man stops a girl with a shout, he does. Granddaughter remark by her incivility. It attracts attention. Lee, and he asks, in husband, or can that find 100,000th ginseng, which changes mortal's bones? He asks how he can address the boy, to which Lee reacts sharply. The guy is not perceives courtesies and not see sense spend time on empty promises, him need guarantee, what he will receive necessary. Chu Shuilian is annoyed that the boy seems to demand something from her grandfather, and she wants say something in answer insolent. From this rush, her distracts strange sound, which sounds above. Girl only, and has time to shout grandpa in order to that was careful. Now threat, in the form of a man with lightning bolts from his hands, is directly above Lee's head. Taishuan. Newcomer starts cry on boy ago what that broke him plan. Destruction cars, Chu Tianjin. He threatens him with death and swings his fist at him direction heads Lee. Boy looks direct in eyes threats. Alien not understands what happens. It was as if a barrier was created around Lee, repelling the enemy's forces, and in his eyes, a guy there is no none of fear. Instead, he, thanks to his superhuman strength, pushes the alien right into tree. Lee irritated, what some earthly ant disturbed him rest and threw up him challenge. This one situation confused old man Chu. He not understands as such young boy may have the powers that rare masters of the elderly have. The man is frightened by the fact that the guy in front by him may to appear a demon. Doubts arose, and in young girls, she in fright looks in eyes Lee, asking how he just killed the assassin. The guy confidently answers that not give this legacy to offend himself. Slow, coming up to places where lay down newcomer boy within disgust looks on him. He says him, what he pollen, which not has act, yes, recklessly. In this time to Lee, overcoming fear, came up old Chu, asking to forgive him by myopia, and him grandson by brutality. He leans before Lee, more time giving thanks him. Eyes a guy are distracted on something green and bright. Him attention attracts jade pendant, which hangs from man's neck. Lee feels what energy this subject acquaintance him. Really? He also came from the immortal world? The guy decides that he needs this pendant and asks for it to give the husband him, in quality awards. Old Chu surprised such request, but without thoughts, takes off this one decoration and transmits to a guy. Clutching the pendant tightly in his hand, Lee explains that mortals cannot use this subject, and for him, he is very useful. On this, the boy says goodbye to his family, Chu, leaving them. Shu Shuilian not understands why her grandfather, yes, simply gives your coulomb. She asks what is so special about this guy. The girl hears the reverse question. Did she hear she is something about Southeastern Military Zone? Grandfather reminds name Long Tianjin in own answers. This one man for has guarded the border for many years, kills terrorist organizations that tried penetrate. And earlier, Tianzong himself took out the enemy's priority target under a rain of bullets Western Africa, at this having killed more than 2,000 troops. Ago this one, a person started called Voldemort. Nevertheless, the girl does not understand why her grandfather told her about it and how concerns Lee. Man explained what that boy yes itself fine owns by force as and Long Tianjin. By certain time, Li Taishuan came up to high buildings, the last floors which, as if chipped clouds, it was 5-star hotel White Goose, in which boy will stop on certain time. Li comes in with thoughts about that. What building to those peer remembers as him insulted in the past life. But now everything has changed. It hit the boy in the eyes bright light, as if blinding him. Around Li, many people, which resting but him thoughts, configured only to take revenge on the main offender, Yan Xiaokun. Someone called out to the boy, bringing out with thoughts, it was him girl, Ku Qingshan. She quarrelled him by that, what he was late on a party that's important to her. Her appearance and figure really attracted, but on this time, boy not will be tempted. He coldly turned to her, having explained what got into the accidents. Boy says what her not concerns him free time, calling a girl prostitute. Ku Qingshan surprised such attitude to himself, a go what to this, Li ran by her as if in love with it. That's it impression, what before by her completely the other man. Goaty with him, he obviously hit head. Behind to couples numbly sneaked up girlfriend Ku, attractive girl with square. She throws the boy a small remark about his appearance and manner communication. On her opinion, he excessive among them. Girlfriend Ku continues pretend complain, what on place girls? She B chose, Yana Xiao seems to understand why she does not want to bring him out into the world. Ku Qingshan was tired friend's comments and she begs her to stop. Li did not react to the remarks of another harlot, Xu Xiaoying. He recalled of the past life, what she working the teacher lingual groups and always watched on a guy above. Girl Li says, what he really annoying her, those what not may normally get dressed for such a high-class event. She is disappointed and thinks that she is losing hers, face by him. Under time, their conversations again intervened Sui, pulling a girl by myself. She urges her to leave Li alone, but the guy doesn't mind at all. He imagines what can make of this girl's human pasta. While Li Xiaofeng remembers his past life and comes up with a plan for revenge, people are around. Lead secular conversations are drinking different drinks and are resting from fussy workers' days. Having left from Li, Ku Qingshan meets Xiao. He asks or came she together with her boyfriend, to which the girl replies that he shouldn't worry, Li always does, is late. Li lit up a cigarette. As interesting sometimes to listen, what about you they say by back, especially your close circle. So, Xiao sees him as antisocial and Ku boring and, moreover, not wants to talk about him. The girl turns to Li and tells him not to blame her for everything. Just him, not enough good for her on opinion Ku. Xiao not loses your chance and urges a girl be with by him. The girl seemed to be waiting for this. She looks into the eyes of her interlocutor. Between them is present spark, which see all surrounding, a go start let rumours. They believe what Li not worth bring a suit with Xiao, and those more to select a girl because he is not his equal. Li must know his place and, like a vain man, delete himself with equation. In this time, Xiao decides come up squeeze hand his own opponent, but Li basically refuses to do it. In his opinion, Yang Xiao is inferior and not worth attention a guy. Such answer definitely was unexpected ago, eyes Yana poured out with rage. To guys, runs up Ku. She shouts on Li, in order to that apologize to go what Xiao Yun, deputy the manager department teaching too, he has take possession of NS. Girl says that Li not can to stay if there is a mother with Xiao such a relationship. Girl with green hair exclaimed, what Ian Xiao in 100 times better by Li, and two guys behind Yana started threaten. What kicked out with banquet or will kill if that, not sorry. Such pressure annoyed Li Xiaofan, but not brought out from ruts. Boy thought that changed the course of time, creating a new development. He decides to teach Zhan Xiao as need himself behave. That continues press. On present moment, all in this indoors configured against Li. Yang shouts again that the boy is not worthy of Ku, but there is nothing he can do, bring out him on emotions. Li hears footsteps. The director of the educational department appears in front of him and, moving Xiao, too, forces apologize before the master. They all as if agreed, but boy not obeys. If he not deserves beyond this banquets, then garbage like Xiao is definitely not worth it. But Ian does not think so. He has shares and believes that deserves on place under the sun. These words become the last straw for an angry Li. He decides, use your strength enchanted chair, on which sat in order to take revenge. Xiao Getting up with him, boy, says what got tired from Igor and offers sit down Ian in order to surrounding entertain him. Opponent believes what victory bye-bye him and, having covered reprehensible look Lee, is heading to chair in order to sit down. Sitting down, Ian feels a painful sensation in his buttock. He jumps up with awareness that what those parts bodies which touched chair, caught fire, shall not understands as such happened. Kuching Shan guess what it did Lee, but nothing not has time do. Ergo, what the fire begins to spread to her as well. Frightened, she starts call on help. From the crowd runs out man with full bucket water and pouring out him on Yana and Ku. Wet and scared, they not understand which way chair flared up. Think about they do not have time because their attention was attracted by a loud sound coming from somewhere above. Unexpectedly for everyone, the light bulb from the chandelier began to crack, and the broken glass it rained by rain direct on Yana Shao, as only he raised the head upstairs. It's strange coincidence. Now the helpless owner screams and calls for help. Two of the subordinates took him underhands. Therefore, what Mr. Need as possible, rather send to hospital in order to prevent infections. All this time, Lee stood from the side, fueled a cigarette, and watched by hereby spectacle in depth souls, he was proud his own work. Ian Shao with their own subordinates headed to black cars. They calm of his master, saying that they are on their way to hospitals. Only, but Dr. Carr's closed down and the driver moved appeared bright flame, as if persecutors husband Ian and him the driver in, outraged, and not understand where it arose again. The men, having sharply opened the door, leave the car. Others who are not either understand what happened, not they know or help, or better hold on away, Ian shouts them, in order to those were climbing away, is watching what is happening. Now he definitely is satisfied, committed. For a guy at interesting performance, and people, ants, which play their role. They attract his attention. Behind to Lee, suitable Ku. She says to he was returning home without her. Girl doubts of tomorrow's offers, hands and hearts. Lee surprised those, what harlot, everything more, wants to join to lack of. Him interesting, which the performance play out these people tomorrow. Mortal games. Yana and Lee, more not finished. A proposal of a hand and a heart should be interesting. Death shell. A guy will close all images of the past. In this ace, the girl thinks about how Lee went far to see her. Why she, yes himself, behaved with him? No. Ku has him forget. Uggo what they not created one for one, she has be above. She is brought out of her thoughts by her friend Shu. She grabs the girl's hand, saying that they really lose a Lee not generated for her. On attention, Ku deserves only such boy as Ian Shao. Leading her friend out of the hall, Zhu says that her boyfriend will be working at Imperial clubs and has freer room for them. She urges Ku go home, then join to them. After that, as Lee left banquet hall, he headed on streets burning a cigarette. It's buzzing call. The guy understands what to him, someone is calling. When he picks up the phone, he hears the confused voice of the girl from the scene of the accident. She interested in where now is located Lee and offers to show surroundings Chuzhou until her grandfather prepares dwelling for a guy. Lee decided to agree on proposal Lotus from family Chu. He informs what is located on crossroads in places Chuhuang in order to girl took away him. Lee completes challenge and in this time to him is heading fragile girl with black hair and bright red eyes. Despite on sunny weather, she holds overhead an umbrella. A stranger offers buy flowers, saying what long not saw such wonderful young husband. Watching direct in eyes Lee, she asks or has he place to stay and offers to go with by her. The guy does not support this idea and coldly tells the girl to leave play with by others mortal. Ego, what he has more important affairs. Yes, cheeky, the answer causes irritation of the stranger. Actually, Lee saw the real one personality this one the witches. He not understands why she dared to cover such a pitiful amount of magic with her body. Unless girl not is afraid die? A stranger impresses what boy may see her magic. Now she exactly not may release him far. In return, Lee coldly looks on witch and says in order to, and gave him quietly, take away her energy. The girl let go of a basket of flowers and an umbrella. Her body becomes flabby. What with by her is it happening? Body strangers as if breaks up which feels strong pressure and energy Li. Such a scale surprises her greatly because her cultivation was destroyed by considered seconds. The outraged stranger gathers her last strength and gets up and shouts at her offender, who he actually, what has such strength? But him rest enters a girl in stupor. Around Li appear as if lightning, which foresee strong bad weather, watching from above on a girl he asks her, as, and dared to throw challenge to God, which one disrespect. Slightly calmed down boy decides release her, but before hereby, she must make amends as soon as possible. A stranger asks to forgive her. She promises forever disappear out of the way a guy. At this time, a green taxi arrived. The driver shouts for cars at Li for being the one, yes, committed with innocent lady. He threatens to a boy as if hit would that fist in face, if was would in bad the mood. Taxi driver invites a girl sit down in car in order to take her away from insolence man by steering wheel, says in order to she ignored such boys as Li, go what he anyway will remain alone to end of life. Scared girl, not losing occasions, sits down in taxi. On this time, Li decides release small witch, but later from will find her and will take the whole her demonic energy. Getting into the car, the witch realizes how lucky she is. The driver asks the girl whether all fine. He saw as she dropped basket with flowers, Ago is interested and is florist, or sells flowers for souls. Witch responds what planted many flowers on flower beds home. She understands that she has lost enough life force, so she calls the taxi driver to buy it a bouquet in order to take a part from him instead. House the Witches is located over alley Manhwa, outgoing by mountain Xiangshan. The place is rented out to a familiar driver. In this time, to Li drove up road, wider car. First boy confused, but when with her came out Lotus, which promised drive in by him, he calmed down. A girl in a light pink dress asks Li how he likes her car and offers it, go with by her boy wishes express own, thank you grandfather a girl by that, what that shall to him. Li and Lotus get into the car and head for the taxi in which the witch is driving. Girl asks in boy who those two she offers own help in order to submit them lesson and says that can find the necessary person. Li responds in order to and not were worried by these little things. As they say modern people, there is no place for modesty here. He says that some people are just attracted to himself troubles. Lotus not understands what exactly has on in mind boy. Li not has time answer on her question. What a girl by steering wheel distracts loud noise from the side. Taxi, in which was driving witch, loses management. From there are ringing men's shouting, begging withdraw her with him, Lotus not understands what happens. Taxi crashes into in the fence and stops your movement. From cars, slow black smoke spreads. There was an accident. Lotus looks at the windows of the damaged car and sees there a girl with crazy eyes and face in of blood. She, scared hereby, spectacle asks in a guy, or saw he it also. To which Li calmly replies that it is a witch absorbed in a meal. He is trying appease Lotus, saying, what in the world exist many unusual things, it all trivia, comparing with by him. In return, these words completely not calm down a girl and forced to worry more. Who such Li Xiaofan? What may see such mystical things? Really? He really knows something more? Having calmed down, Lotus and Li again are leaving in the road. By half an hour, they arrive at a large building that looks like nothing more than a club. It Imperial, the club where Ku went with her girlfriend. Lotus says Li, what her liked their cognitive conversation. She already used to the boy's strange manner of communication. Lotus wants to park the car and currently he may leave the first and to rest. On during Li stops protection, not skipping him within. Boy informs to the husband what he was invited to club. Guardian boldly mocks with that, what poor man in such rags wants? Stay here, he asks the guy if he has a membership card, but Li doesn't has her. He informs what came from acquaintance. The man at the entrance does not want to hear anything. He says he has to leave rooms by absence cards. Guardian mocks with that, what such poor man? How Li? Maybe to come with a girl. With door, which situated near turns out man. It manager club jow. He is interested, those what happens, on what security guard informs about the situation with Lee. Will he be able to managing to believe to a boy? Unfortunately, number Zhao mocked with boy filling up questions about that, or Lee is looking for malnutrition and he is looking for food. This attitude is getting boring to a boy ago, he says. To manager followed the tone. The manager informs that he is Shu's boyfriend Xiaoping, and Lee, simply unnecessary poor boy. Lee recalls what Shu always flaunted his own boyfriend, but for he is not his authority club manager. Such impudence makes Zhao emotional. He didn't expect Lee to be like this. Answer him. Sarcastically, manager asks or knows this poor man where he, in general, is located. Their conversation interrupts Ku, which not expected see hear his own a guy, near her friend is standing with her. For the boy, this meeting is also a surprise. He says, Ku, what is waiting acquaintance while that parks a car? Blonde shouts on Lee, blaming in vanity. She thinks what boy came to the club to attract her attention. She is ashamed of him and the girl wants, in order to that, left her in peace of mind. Remark brings out Lee from himself. He says what in none case not ran would by such harlot reminding what Ku courted to ugly Yana Shaokun. Let him search poor thing which is not anyway on her. Instead, the girl does not believe what was said. She believes that he is carrying nonsense and it her case as and with by whom himself behave. Boy responds in order to, and lagging behind him ago, what her manners him tiring. Dispute is gaining of revolutions, Ku shouts Lee, what he not has rights with by her yes talk, and must also not be in the Imperial Club. This place not created for him, Lee is not has live here. The last one a phrase here's Lotus, which comes in this time to club. She protects Mr. Lee, apologizing for the fact that she had to be late because of the jam parking lot. Security guard and manager in shocks. What with such to the poor a guy came like that girl? They do not understand that Ms. Chu does in the club. Lotus catches on itself surprised view Ku, but ignores her. In return, girl aggressive towards two men. She did not like carelessness attitude to Lee because her the family vouched by him. The guard and handler kneel guiltily in front of Lotus. Girl also decides make fun of with them and orders slap themselves himself until Lee not will want stop it. Men humbly perform order. In parallel, I'm sorry by that, what judged boy cover art without recognizing hostess, Chis Ku Kingshan not understands what happens and why boy girlfriends. Yes is afraid Lotus. He learns from Shu that this girl's family owns almost everything Chuzhou. Girlfriend Ku tells what once boy from VIP tried to hit Lotus. After that, he came out with broken bones and serious damaged limbs. No one does can find flaws in Lotus. Q not expected what her boy Yeslo fell. Standing someone's a pawn girl certainly captures feeling jealousy. Lotus introduces Lee, thinking as far as Q not far-sighted fool on opinion girl, this whore can't even say how much Lee Dragon is among men. Lotus together with Lee comes into elevator. They are watching as men to those PAR were beaten himself on face door, elevator are closing direct before face Q. Really? This one girl watched on her with right away. She saw what Mrs. Lotus plays Lee and soon leaves him, leaving him in tears. Let it not then is coming to her and not blames. Before Lotus and Lee opens snug arranged room, they slow come in within. Girl exclaims Mr. Lee. She wants to, in order to, he pond her teacher, ago what has significant knowledge. Lotus says, what money will translate on card, in quality sincere gratitude. Getting settled on sofas in pose Lotus, Lee responds what not may make the girl's request, because she is inept enough to become his apprentice. Lotus is trying convince young man. Girl promises what will be, listen each him word. Occupation combat art always were her a dream, and she not may lose such possibility. Saying this, she lowers her strap dresses. Should Lee agree? Undoubtedly, the beauty of the girl is the best that he has life, but all one thing incomparable with a girl with caves Manhwa and immortal from Yaoni. Maybe Lotus will become one too like that? The money she gave him will allow him to grow a new body, but the temptation from girls not pleases him. It's civilized conversation. Despite on all, Lee decides, take the Lotus on trial term. Girl crazy counsel this? She confused squeezes hands to chest, now Lee her master, and is few things which she must know. Boy orders Lotus to remember that, what they descendants tie lazy. Only formally, but she may to be considered a student this one of blood, it big civilization the world. Girl agrees with his own teacher, but her interesting where took up Tai Sloth. Lee replies that it is from a distant realm where no mortal can enter. Perhaps once Lotus will overcome this barrier. Darkly looking on Month, Lee adds what when Power Girls will be big enough, he'll take her to see the Empire. Lotus owes it see, ergo what nothing not may equal with Kingdom Tianxiang. Girl notices what Lee each one time gets upset when says about it. She wants inquire why yes happens, but decides not chip away wounds a guy. Lee as if reads her thoughts. He explains what it by that, what into the kingdom remained the people he supervised. He says it's nothing more than an excuse for thoughts and pointless feeling. Tim sometimes in memories Lee pop up memoirs. He is sitting near Cliff and is watching by black-haired a girl she holds in hand sword. Facely gives out delight this one, a person. Him interesting. Why, despite on already high-level development, she aspires become more stronger. Standing to a guy, Batgirl responds what once becomes stronger than Taishuan's elder brother. She needs it. She wants to stand on top of the world, near with by him together. Turning her head, the girl asks if the boy has been trying all this time. Returning with memories, Lee thinks or tried, she find him, searching the galaxy. She is not there, what to worry about. He is still alive. Thoughts he asks her, wait him return. Lee, sorry, what once suppressed his feeling. He must find way to her. Lotus decides more not disturb master today. Him better stay alone with thoughts Lee assures what with, by him, all fine, and girl, may to go to himself. Only Lotus leaves room. Boy gets with pocket that coolum, what gave him grandfather girls. He firmly squeezes decoration in hands, feeling her strength. This stone was the only in his own relatives, but, on pity, he dried up in hands, Lee only remained small pieces. Taishuan Qi cannot yet be activated in the boy's body. He decides that, maybe, better search into another place. Him cultivation enough now, but when Lee will enter to the kingdom, it activates Coulomb. Boy turns out with rooms and sees by the door manager and security guard, which still beat themselves while standing on their knees. They tearfully beg for forgiveness and release there. One of them grabs Lee by the leg. He promises that he will never bother again a guy and sincerely repents by committed. Man looks tortured, but or worth him trust. Lee only lets on him cold view and with the whole strength hits shoe on face, he not going to forgive abusers and orders them move. Slightly leaving from husband Lee says what this man, rubbish, true a dog yarner, that's why he will never forgive him and will hold a grudge until he doesn't will repay the debt. This one, a person should suffer. Only Lee left club, before by him, sharply slows down black car, blinding bright by light headlights. Driver, as if deliberately, is trying knock down a guy. Irritated Lee shouts that the one who by steering wheel learned lead. But the boy's emotions immediately change when he sees the backseat scared girl, which asks about help. She's fighting in window, but Lee nothing not can help her. I go what machine is heading further. Finally, the car stops somewhere deep in the forest in the middle of the night. The guise for steering wheel returns to scared girls, offering fine to spend with by him Veichir to sign a contract right today. She addresses him as Sun Zong, accusing that he pumped up a girl drugs. She threatens him, what will cause the police if he her now not will release. Boy with purple hair laughs ago what phone girls in him most likely, he already threw it away. The more the girl screams, the louder thief gets excited. She will definitely not run away today. He firmly grabs a girl by hand, forcing a girl cry and cry from a fear. She dreams of, in order to this, a pervert rather finished and died. Boy arrogantly says what exist others' companies, which once sign with him a contract. Every one of them has to pay, including this poor girl. He wants her body in quality pledge. Thief breaks on her address saying what it must become for girls a blessing from a past life. She continues to scream, pleading, let her go, it is not must, so get off him with hands. This brat addresses the girl like an angel. He grabs her by the throat and says, what now will be impetus, and it will be divinely and exciting, as thief not understands as far as disgusting for her? Girl shouts, and by all forces is trying break out with poor beast, which the same he's a bastard for doing this to her. She felt the grip on her throat loosen. A man distracts roar outside. Someone was knocking on the window. Angry that he was disturbed, the thief is reluctant, opens him and see Lee. He says to a guy to fail if a go there is no what say. But Lee, nowhere not going to go. He orders insolent, go out with cars. Boy with purple hair heading towards Lee with a bat in his hands. He threatens those what will beat that yes, what mother not recognizes if Lee not will go away now. This is the last chance, which the guy does not plan to use. Instead, he forcefully ignites a cigarette. Lee says the girl in the back seat has to go to leave offender alone with own wishes. Such choice will allow him live. These words cause laughter in a thief. He believes what boy not has rights? Yes, talk with such known in these neighborhood personality. Lee is not interested in listening to the man's life story. Him indifferently on him paltry status. Boy informs, if that not let go a girl and not will stop wave club, he will only get worse. The thief does not accept threats and does everything vice versa, swinging the bat right in front Lee's face. Boy not endures this, and one by movement breaks weapon's opponent, leaving him in despair. An enraged rival threatens Lee with violence, saying that his power is useless before connections this husband in society. Such as Lee exactly not equal such as he. The guy's already tired of this empty conversation. He grabs the thief by the neck, lifting in mountain man with purple hair to those who naively believes what Lee is not, may him to kill. He capable for everything. The guy can't control himself anymore. Such arrogance come out by all frame Lee, one by hand, carries husband to cliff, telling him to enjoy himself moment. Sun Zong still does not understand the reality of the threat, thinking that his opponent is bluffing. He emphasizes what not is afraid, him silly threats, but inside the thief, everything was compressed from of fear. But Lee, not with those who throws words on wind. By moment, he lets go neck sooner, and that flies down. Man to the last one moments not believes what Lee threw up him in the abyss. He flies down, realizing what an irreparable mistake he had made. Sun is loud shouts, but unlikely someone to him will help. In this time, Lee quietly is heading to cars. Really? That pig really thought, what is the guy bluffing? Car doors are opened. Having collected the last strength, girl turns out with cars, exclaiming at this Lee. She feels what strength shortly will leave her. Lee, not has time. Pick up a girl ago and loses consciousness direct before legs a guy. Lei decides to take her to his suite. They are already in the Imperial Club. Finally rest. Victim violence came out with bathroom rooms and asks or is in the hostess variable clothes. Lee one, sharp by movement, throws to a girl whiter shirt. He turns away from her until, and changing clothes. Girl boundlessly grateful his own saviour. Lee indifferently says, what, if she nothing more not needs, than may to go relax and restore strength after stress? But girl nowhere, not in a hurry. Her terrible remain on loneliness, and wait until her will take. She asks, stay on one night together with Lee. The guy does not pay attention to her and says that she can do as she wants. Girl lies down near, thinking about that. Which strange man her saved, but why her yes quietly near with him. Morning appeared sunny, Chuzhou as if bathed in gentle rays, only starting wake up. In return, Lee already is heading somewhere on taxi. Sitting in the car, he talks to Lotus. She informs him that aristocratic school Eastern Star, where wanted work Lee, too belongs to her family. Grandfather girls once present this institution to a guy. Lee not expected what influence family choose so comprehensive, but it may become useful in the future. Master tells Lotus to take care of herself. He will do it her later ago what now has other matters. Lee gets out of the taxi as Lotus tells him to be careful on the phone. Before by him opens Kind on High Arch, which is the entrance to that buildings for which arrived boy. Here he will meet with their own abusers with past, which took away him money and sent to prison. They didn't even announce the death of Lee's father. The guy is happy, what finally can them take revenge? He passes the arch and sees two women, which communicate between by myself and, what older, and she did not expect to see her interlocutor with an umbrella. And did she come? See mother? Boy recognizes in the second to a woman own a girl coup. Woman with an umbrella says her that she should cut all ties with Lee. Q doesn't have to worry for long. Think of this. Girl responds what her not need twice repeat. So she will do this. Lee must pay for his mistake. Let him not blame Q in later cruelty. Let him pay attention to his own mediocrity. Mother Q says that she is doing this for the sake of her daughter. Yang Xiao's family is influential and wealthy. Ago, he best fiancé. Woman emphasizes what life, not tale about Cinderella, so you have to do everything, what to survive. She remembers how willingly she followed the girl's father, so she suffered all her life. Mother Ku believes what desire daughters be with Lee will bring only pain. Woman wishes better and not wants to Ku repeated her life. Mother Ku is heading to steps, asking daughter when Ian will come ago, what they came here precisely for this. The girl replies that he will be there soon. In this one, Lee's time imperceptibly suitable behind. Him present surprises Ku. In return, her mother obviously not satisfied meetings with potential groom daughters. She meticulously looks on a guy. Lee is holding a cigarette. The girl yells at him for not being said hello with her mother. Why he leads himself. Yes, as if not saw her before. Igniting a cigarette, Lee does to a woman compliment by excellent appearance. He sits down on the fence flower beds. Above him appears the figure of Ku's mother, who reproachfully asks how old the boy is earns by month. Inconvenient the situation interrupts girl, justifying Lee those what he only trainee teacher. They more not know what now he own a school's mother Ku, wondering what the guy earns so little. He won't even be able to afford the down payment house. What right does he have to propose to her daughter then? Holding face, Lee responds what money. Nothing comparatively with absolute by the authorities. The mother of the prostitute clearly misunderstood something. He is not here for her daughters. To reprehensible look, women is connected Ku. She assures what to a guy, no need to say anything more. Does he not want to grow up in the eyes of Mrs. Chu? The girl was disappointed in Lee still more. Ku is calling mother saying what the one not worth to address attention on such stupid. Shortly will come Ian Xiao, and they have a point new, the date engagement. By moment to buildings drives up black car with which confidently carrying himself, turns out Ian. On the sides from him are wanted two guys, him protection. Xiao kindly welcome with Mother Koos and pressing her hand to them timidly is heading girl. Lee understands what all them images finally got together, so you can start revenge. He remembers that the two boys who arrived with Jan before him are strong, were beaten. It was like yesterday, but today everything will change. Ian Xiao sorry before Mother Ku by that, arrived without gifts, explaining this by the fact that he had only recently recovered from a bad accident. In return, he offers her new car in quality compensation. Mercantile woman rejoices such gesture. She praises Yana by courtesy, rejoicing what in the future they will become one family. Boy not is ashamed and continues to write future mother-in-law further. Woman flaunts that her daughter has farsightedness unlike Lee, who dared to come to them with empty-handed. Yang pays attention to the boy sitting on the flower bed. He thinks that Lee pursued Ku to her, the house. Thoughts he understands what that evil case, what happened with by Jan on the eve, somehow connected with a guy. Lee looks at his opponent with a question in his eyes. Yang, as if sensing this, says that on place a guy went would away now. Until that, him not humiliated, Xiao promises not touch Lee in school, if that will go. In return, boy not perceives threat from Yana. The opponent, annoying like that position, he says that Lee is only a trainee teacher and Yang is the vice principal educational department. He can create boy problems. Lee ridiculously with such self-confidence ago, what this one school already him belongs to. Hasn't Yan heard yet? What a guy now the director of the institution? Xiao is amused by this. He doesn't believe a word Lee says. Ian says that vainglory not taxable YB, then to a guy not choose be the governor or the mayor. Jan, as small baby, applies finger in boy asking in Ku, or Heard she this one information, under time, this one performances, Lee quietly smokes a cigarette. In conversation intervenes Mother Ku saying, what girl not must have affairs with a guy like that? She believes that Lee's act is really shameful and worthy conviction. The woman takes Yan Xiao by the arm, telling him not to pay attention to this rural guy. She offers leave to apartments, where woman will prepare for them delicious food, but Yang suggests that Ku's mother go with the girl to try it out gifted car, until he will be talk with Li Xiaofan. Ian wants do away with a boyfriend in order to that one is not bothered them in the future. Really? Shall Mo not understand? What Li indifferently on them? Woman decided to accept Ian's suggestion. Dragging her daughter behind her, she hopes that Li is more never not will be present in their life. Ku wants to say something, but is interrupted by the future groom who forces her Xiaofan become on lap on scold. Ian says if boy will entertain him, that light him let go. Eyes Xiao are poured cruelty, he wishes death Li and regrets what this not will see, have boy which gave birth nothing like that. But Li is definitely not afraid for himself. He already knows that Ian plans to maim, destroy him face acid, and finally plant to prison by crime, which Li not committed. Xiao is surprised that the boy knows his intended plan, but he does easier ago what Ian not need pretend. He orders to a guy become on lap, but that refuses it do. Li stands up from the fence of the flower bed and grabs Ian by the throat, lifting him up in the air. Boy should simply to kill scoundrel, but decides what Xiao deserves on slow and painful death. Ian Xiao not expected such from opponent in condition, shock were located and him guards. They didn't know what to do or whether to intervene at all. From a stupor, there brings out imperative cry Yana. Xiao's guards try pounce on Li to save his own hostess. They confidently are heading in side fights. In this moment, Li notices two men shooting in their side eyes. Continuing keep Yana one by hand, boy lets inside, attacking something similar on wave, which has immeasurable strength. Men are trying somehow way defend yourself from threats, but all able to useless ago. What forces Li not may counteract usual deadly. One with guards guess what boy? Holding Yana. Cultivator. It explains scale him strength Li, wondering what even such as these people, they know who he is actually. Another guard explains that Chuzhou has many hidden tigers and dragons, ego many noble people in prosperity. He offers release cultivator, but that instead should leave Jan. The first guard stops the colleague, warning that Li is cunning and real, may hold huge number chi. He worried what boy may be on levels the boss. Until guards argued, Li threw up Yana on land. Xiao not understands by what pays men because they have to protect him, not try to agree with opponent. He orders to men to kill Li. Really? Xiao indeed not understands in which difficult position ended up, he must beg Li for mercy. The guy grabs one of the guards by the hand so that there is a crunch broken bones. Li breaks hand to a man by that. What that once crippled him, leg guardian grabs himself for the place of pain, being in a state of shock. He is calling his own partner, and that is trying to attack on Li with fists and hit direct in face. Of course, in the poor, a guy nothing not turns out. Li repels him thanks to own forces. When that falls down, boy not in a hurry, suitable to him, bodies. He aspires take revenge by the past images. Once this man took away and sold Li's kidney, now it was his turn to do the same. The guy cuts open his stomach security guard. Yes, what it starts from there, flow blood. Now came, turn Yana, Xiao. Frightened offender threatens submit on Li to court if he inflicts bodily harm on him. He bluffs beautifully, understands what not will run away from massacres. But Li won't let Yang die so easily. He wants Xiao to bow before by him as before by God 100 times and at this screamed as pig. Li won't see this one the performance. In order to force him to do what was ordered, the boy presses his leg with all his might husband, which a minute ago broke hand. Ian got scared what Li may do him. It also hurts. So I'm ready to agree to anything. Ku with his own mother in this time are going in car, nothing not suspecting. The girl I wonder what will happen to Xiaofan. The woman is annoyed that her daughter mentions the boy and asking for more never remember him name. Mother earnestly assures Ku that Xiao Kun is much better than her ex-boy. Argo what he, wealthy and with influential family. On the background, this handsome man, Li, it seems her garbage. When they drove up to places with whose started own travel, woman saw as Yang kneels before Xiaofeng and bows almost to the ground. What happens? It no looks like proud Xiao. Li mocked with Yana, saying what that may better bow before by him. Time the guy is expensive, but he enjoys the execution process, slowly pulling a cigarette. But Ian will never learn his lesson, despite his completely smashed forehead. He says what an insult. Which boy never not will forgive? Early or late Li will die from hands Yana. He promises him it. With cars runs out Ku and exclaims, Xiao Kun, her have not has time. Go out. Ago watches what is happening while sitting in the back seat of the car. The girl is puzzled by that she saw. She quickly runs up to boys asking what Li I slept. She not understands what does Xiao Kun and why the men who came with him lie unconscious in the puddles, own of blood. Smiling boy responds what nothing such not did. Ian did all voluntarily. He slaps the kneeling man in the face to get him to confirm words. Li reminds Yang that he owes him another 100 bows. Now, Xiao must do it at everyone showing to everyone present own flawless acting the game. Or, yes, Ian imagined itself a minute fame. Ku decides to intercede for a potential groom. She does not know what is here happened, but believes what should be limits, humiliation abuses, girl wishes. Li right now apologized to Xiao. For a guy, it sounds as joke. Mortal start cause in him disgust when they are on top and have status. They never thought apologize before by him. Li orders Ian continue yell, with by force hitting foot and shoulder. Boy long dreamed about such chance, now won't lose him. Xiao already lying on earth, but him has to obey Li. He promises what boy pay by this act. Him will understand participation worse by death. Li is standing near with taxi before wide arch on loneliness. Above, slow is falling leaf. The guy feels vibration in pockets. Him someone is calling. Li picks up the phone and hears a man's voice. It's his father calling to ask, as affairs in son in Chuzhou. He interested in as Li is working in school, and did he offer of a hand, and Ching hearts Xuan. On eyes a guy convert tears. He boundlessly glad hear voice. Father Li says he's fine, but the tremor in his voice raises doubts, parental hearts. The man asks how he can help his son. Li reassures him, saying that at him all fine, it would tears happiness. He promises what will take father to Chuzhou as soon as we'll finish with their affairs. Li throws handset, thinking about that, as suffered in the past life this deadly until not committed suicide. But more pain felt him father. A boy in this life will not allow this. Li is heading to schools, in which will be work. Having entered within, he see husband in glasses, which informs what vacancy teacher, an intern, now not relevant, therefore the boy will manage the warehouse. Such news surprises Li. The man in front of him reminds him that he is coming today, manager schools, in order to determine new director. He threatens what boy will remain without wages. If on the composition will be a mess. Li asks if the manager knows that the man is making such decisions without his consent. That defiantly responds what a guy not concerns, a go what? Certainly knew the director will become Xiao Kun. A bespectacled man throws Li the keys to the warehouse, telling him that rather by all, shortly release Ian. He believes what boy should to admit your mistake before such a person as Xiao. This unpleasant conversation interrupts blonde boy, which turns out from neighboring door. He glad return Xiaofan. Boy firmly in a friendly way embraces Li, asking why he not reported about your return. A whistle hangs around his neck, indicating that he is a teacher, physical education. Him name Chao Fei. A nasty man threatens a guy with a pay cut for being fines not on children's sight. Man offers to the teacher take away Li and to go away from here. Ma as instructions. Li undoubtedly not supports this one. The idea ago, friend grabs a guy by hand and advises not to address attention on husband. Going out by door, friend Li mentions what they finished almost year ago. Now Xiaofan may work in one school with Qing Xuan. To a boy interesting, when they are planning get married, Li quietly responds what harlot chose Yana Xiao. Xiaofei, not expected such, therefore decides to support a friend. He says that Qing Shuang is not deserving to be with Li and will still regret it through own choice. Manner communication friend. It seems strange for Xiaofei. Li not sees in this problem and changes the topic to the life of a friend. The guy is wondering how he has started teach physical education, having degree with chemistry. Or Xiaofei explains what he once got angry director Ma ago that, having decided to provide lesson, appointed a guy a teacher, physical education in worst class. Xiaofei plans to quit his job this year as soon as his mother dies better. Li says, friend until not fall into in despair. He gives word. What will return him dignity when that person is done with this place? Teacher physical education admires those what him friend pond more sure, but those not less, he advises Li not to contact with such people as Ian Shaokun and the director Ma, argo what they too influential. Li can't stand it and admits that he is now the new master of this school institution. Boy wants appoint friend, the main manager, in order to rule together. Xiaofei may not swallow his ex's images. Li not expected what school bully they can hear offend. Him friend also did not believe the boy, thinking that he had learned such acting skills, somewhere abilities. Xiaofei compares Li with cartoon thief. He hugs his friend's shoulder, deciding to play along. Xiaofei asks if maybe Godzilla instead deputy director. Friend Li mentions what should now to conduct classes, but he will deal with it later. Until Li conducts time in school, two husband which guarded Yana are coming to your boss. They complain about the injuries caused to them by Xiaofan. For them, in words, he enough good practitioner. For they're the boss, amazingly. What such genius, as Li appeared in Chuzhou, even not by naming his own name. Really? Him title nothing not means for boyfriend? The men, with tears in their eyes, excused themselves by saying that Li didn't want anything here about the boss boy only, and handed over in order to that pond before by him on the knees and asked for about mercy. Boss men irritated such behaviour, Li. As this pig dared express him own disrespect, Li must die for such carelessness. The boss orders the men to study at stupider guy and find him location. He wants personally figure it out with Li tearing apart him, body for 3 parts. Touching the sky, the Tianlong Hotel is located. Next to this giant passes many people, but to stop on night in him, they can itself to allow only the wealthy. Exactly here lives Grandfather Lotus. The girl goes to his room. She finds him thinking by the window. Until man admires the landscape, Lotus asks, or not time to spend in school ceremony regarding Li's emphasis, the owner. Grandfather agrees with this one, a proposal he offers to spend all in Hotel Tianlong and asks grandson to collect all school faculty and directors in order to announce new candidate. Lotus already is planning to leave husband, but that slows down her. He has more something to discuss with the granddaughter, apart organizational issues. Hard inhaling air full chest, man asks what Lotus thinks of Leia Yuntianya, which will return by few days with army girl understands to what may bring this one conversation. Lotus explains what Lei early went serve to army. After this, he pawned a student Long Tianyu, the first master southeastern district, Ago early became a major. So, on the husband you can bet. Grandfather becomes embarrassing but expected question, or considers granddaughter shortage with Lei. The man informs about the boy's feelings for Lotus, saying that he came back with army only for her. Even though Lei Yuntian is a wonderful person, the girl is nothing feels to him. She informs, what, when that will return will say all, what feels with this reason. Grandfather may not be embarrassed. Sighing, the man says he's not worried about Lei, but he is masterlong. What kills everyone if conversation comes in by shortage? It would hard refuse, but Lotus has the right to do so, as he knows. Noble school. Eastern star is sinking in descending rays. The sun time is approaching to PM. Foliage trees slow is falling on earth, warning about approximation. Autumn. Li and Xiaofei come out with schools, reasoning about that. What this institution really created for young nobles. Great location and pleasant guide confirm what it highly paid real estate. To men simultaneously is coming on telephone's notification. Invitation to the ceremony announcement of new manager. Chao Fei thinks what new the director will become Ian Xiaokun, thanks to wealthy to the family. Li is surprised to go, what him leadership put under doubt. There is none about what to worry about. Soon everyone will know the truth. On ceremony already got together enough people. Someone with the crowd says what Ian must take care of his subordinates as soon as he gets the position. They believe that Xiaokun will become a talented director. By sprat minutes to the hotel come in Li with his own school of friend. Theirs appearance undoubtedly causes bewilderment in Yana and his pawn. Xiaokun assured, what him appoint director, Argo boldly threatens Li reprisal for the way the boy committed with him. But Xiaofan even not once listened cheeky boast passing by past Yana, which stands with Qing Shuang. The girl cannot stand such indifference from the side the former groom. She annoyed is calling him and orders to stop Li, not understands what more this one harlot wants from him. Boy laughs with naivety coup. Funny, what she asks him apologize Li. No before by whom, not will be bow. No before rivers, no before mountains, and those more before such garbage as Ian Xiaokun. A girl annoyed she shouts on Li, in order to that mentioned, what he only but poor man with some unknown villagers, she urges Li to think over those what he may to lose work. Boy not once listen. Yes, scanty a person as Qing Shuan. He sees a harlot through and urges her hold on away from a guy. Saying it, boy is heading to doors, Ku not understands why upon such heavy in communication. Really, he considers himself God. What with by him, not yes? At this time, Director Mai, next to whom Shu is standing Xiaoping with boyfriend comments which Li unbearable. Man in glasses following time will send him deal with toilets instead of working in a warehouse. All emphasize on a go. What Li drove away with reason, Ian explains Qing Shuan what she any not may help to a boy ago such as he, should be locked up in psychiatric hospitals. Thoughts Ian Xiaokun condemns Li by such careless attitude to everyone others. Today, this pig will see strength, status and connections. Ian will be humiliate a guy to the end days. People by a table are talking on secular topics and are drinking wine. Li with Chao Fei hold back only watching by them with side, friend Li decides eat. He asks why, him friend not joins. Club Tianlong is considered the best place in Chuzhou, which has a high level of conditions. Is it Li refuses to try luxurious life? Chao Fei explains to the friend that the board of directors arranged their presence here. So, candidacy new director undoubtedly important for them saying this, the physical education teacher continues to chew. In rooms runs in confused and something scared pupil. She asks the teacher Xiao about help. A few seconds after the student, a group of several men, boy with mohawk, threatens girl saying that, and nowhere from him, not will run away. People invited to the ceremony do not understand what is happening. Scared girl is trying refuge by the back Xiao, begging about help. These guys obviously want get rid of from her. Not less. Confused, a teacher asks in boy who is such. She wants to call the police. Instead, the girl's abuser just laughs. Let the woman does what wants. He notes what Xiao also beautiful and orders own companies take her also. Yang Xiaokun decides intervene in dispute. He recognizes Barbo as the abuser of the girl. Jan is afraid of him, so he asks release this one, the situation crying out by misunderstanding. But to a man indifferently on request Xiaokun, he not recognizes him. Jan calmly explains who he is and what kind of family he is with, because he does not want to offend himself on danger. He explains what Brother Biar may not know him personally, but Xiao knows husband. A guy flatters a man with a mohawk, emphasizing what he is like, legendary street fighter. Ian says the crowd, in order to those not contacted with Brother Bao, because by offending man, you can die. Xiao begins to panic because she threatened the street fighter. She's suitable everything in tears to Yana and asks help her. Xiaokun is trying please Brother Bia by asking what pissed him off. That informs what offered girl by which chased leave with by him to drink but, and not only refused, and more, and allowed itself, wound him people. Ian continues to flatter the man. He agrees that the girl has done something wrong. Xiaokun returns to, without that scared girls, forcing her ask the husband for a favor and pay medical expenses. Confused girl is trying to justify himself. She explains what she just came to work there and the men forced her. Poor of everything student. Xiao interrupts her, ordering apologize before Brother Ba. Women nothing more not remains as protect offender girls. She blames a student in a go, what she beat others. Brother Ba interjects, saying that he doesn't need an apology. Student more on work, Ago may return on bar and to fix own a mistake. People around do not want this to happen because they understand the consequences, but nothing not they can do. Brother Ba now threatens to everyone by that. What they decided to go against him, considering the man soft-bodied. Ba's eyes begin to fill with rage. He will show these people his strength and not will allow nobody to leave hotel. Ian decides act, agreeing on that. To poor student, went with street fighter. Xiaokun orders to a girl go with Brother Bi, deciding what such way will get rid of problems. Having imagined himself the future director, Ian informs what will cancel her tuition fees during the semester. Sa tricks her student into doing this, justifying what the woman taught her a girl expressed thank you. She definitely must be grateful by kindness. Yan Xiao, therefore, has go with Brother Ba. One of the street fighters' company grabs the student's hand. She starts cry from surprises asking release, but man says in order to girl even and not dreamed, run away. In this moment, man with white hair appears before them. Li hides the girl behind her back, trying to protect her. The guy puts it in front of him, attacking a man, hand planning to apply strength. King Xuan calls out Li, warning in order to he not did resistance opponent, and no, she will die. She doesn't want the boy to cause more problems. Li begs her, shut up. None of them deserve the right to speak. Boy assures what this one student is located under him protection, he embarrassing everyone people in indoors by that? What those yes cruelly committed with girl, scared Brother Ba. This is disgusting. He informs what not satisfied their own subordinates. Tomi, they should him to compensate for this act against his authority. Otherwise, there will be consequences destructive for them. Yan Xiao's self-belief returns. He shouts loudly at Li, no understanding what that wants say. Words a guy for Yana not have none sense because he madly is afraid angry Brother Ba. People with the crowd order Li become on lap before a fighter and apologize. They beg him not complicate nobody life. It everything on everything alone. Stupid student? What here, like this? This one situation, it seems, Brother Ba, funny. If Li decided what he hero, that man first will figure it out with by him. He orders own companies, take a guy. But only men are moving with places there stop some otherworldly force that has considerable power. This strange energy emanates from Li. Qiao Fei is worried about his friend, but Li can definitely stand up for himself. He confidently gives rebuff opponents, even not moving with places wave, echoing from boy, repels men to different corners of the room. Brother Ba was surprised by Li's strength, but it also fascinates him even more. Now, of course, why boy such bold? Ba orders to a man with companies knock out with Li the whole strength. He is heading fast steps to a guy and confidently is attempted foot right in Li's face, following Brother Ba's order. Motionless at this time. Do people not understand what nothing not will be able to do against him absolute forces? Li grabs opponent by leg, rejecting to the side table, on who stood glasses. Man breaks his own table and breaks bottles, he lying in debris without consciousness. Surroundings amazed, so incredible by force Li. Qingshen not understands, when him former boy made it become so strong. That man, what attacked the last on Li, has name Wolf. He was mercenary and fought in different hot points. Wolf was generated for war, but even he not endured one blow Li. Boy asks in Brother Ba, or scared husband his own by force, he orders man to bow before him. Li hopes that he will choose the right one decision. Frightened Ba admits immeasurable boy power, but he doubts what boy can to cope with huge quantity his subordinates who rush into the room at this moment swinging big knives. Men in black surround Li with everyone's sides, but to a guy indifferently on it, he is standing still. People with the crowd decide what at best way run away. Let this idiot Xiaofan deals with them himself. They think Li deserves one fate. Brother Ba orders his men not to wait and hack Xiaofang to pieces. Men are approaching to Boy closing circle around him more slightly, and they will start hack Li. Under time, this Xiaofan ignites a cigarette. Him indifferently on that, what takes place, because he, on 100% assured in their own forces, from a guy again sounds wave, which carries away him enemies away. They fly away as if tiny ants, you different parties. A carpet of people spread out around Li. Whether they are still alive is another matter question. Boy confidently is heading inside their heads. Brother Ba. Teacher and hymn time. In return, people around are located in shocks from seen with by each together power. Li surprises there all more and more. Brother Ba also affected such forces. It impossible. These people retired special forces from the army. They are really trained soldiers. Only one of them is capable fight against 10 people. Like Li succeeded them when these people were the main strength of Bia, which allowed him to dominate the underground Chuzhou. Li suitable to street a fighter and asks or has that more something to show him the guy wants compensation. Brother Ba assures what Li nothing not will do against him despite on that. What that won everyone him people. Boy responds, what not worries, none laws. He will decide himself how to do from Ba. Man with mohawk considers opponent crazy Li may and has strength to suppress him. But if he calls someone stronger, will he succeed, boy? Brother Bia was interested in such a challenge to Li. He says to entertain him, inviting someone stronger. Li really interesting, who will arrive in order to help Ba get out of so difficult position. The guy is hoping for a real show, so he won't be miserable opponent Bia quickly is gaining trembling hands, someone on phone. From there sounds someone's voice. Street Fighter informs, what only but called the most influential to a person. Chuzhou. This one person owns almost to everyone the city. Ergo Li are waiting serious troubles. The guy is definitely not will be able to compete with by him. Brother Ba offers Li to lean before by him to name him his own older brother and also to apologize to her husband's people for what happened. In return, Ba can write this miss from accounts Li. Brother Ba promises care about future life boy if that agree at his suggestion. It seems to me that the street fighter somehow misunderstood boy. Ba has no right to vote. Where does such arrogance come from? Brother Ba warns in order to Li not blamed him then. Boy himself chose your way. At this time, the elevator door opens and he appears in front of the men body of a woman with pink hair. They recognize in her Lotus, yes fine acquaintance, both girl arrived not alone, but with a large support group in the form of men in black suits. They are heading on place disputes. Brother Bia is overjoyed at the arrival of Lotus, cherishing the hope that she is his will help figure it out with scoundrel Li. He applies finger inside boy, saying what it's weird boy, about what a man mentioned. Ba informs, what idiot Li decided leave against family too. Lotus, very surprised by that turning events. She runs up to boy, turning to him as the master girl leans before by him, giving away respect apologetically by being late. Qingshuan and Ian Xiaokun not understand why like that dear as Lotus calls the poor boy by the master. Li reports Ba's crime, telling how he courted a girl from school, proposing to drink. He asks Lotus or considers she such act illegal, and Brother Ba is trying justify himself. But on eyes girls visible what she, no drops him not believes. Lotus points out that even Ba the dog is more worthy of being her older brother than himself man. Girl, more not configured, continue conversation, Ba pond, disgusting for her. Part such alienation by that, what man dared to offend Master Lotus? Brother Ba kneels and bows low before the girl, begging about excuse. Lotus orders to a man slap himself. Brother Ba humbly performs order. Now already man, not it seems so sure. People Brother Bia also are rising after fights with Li and become on lap before Lotus. They repeat by a man and start slap himself on face. Girl, sorry by that. What Li had to see this shame? But these men are part of the Chu family forces. Lotus says the boy can use on your discretion, when him if you like. Li notices Manor Lotus order images a guy slap himself in quality of punishment. He thinks that these men can really be useful in return of strength, Li Wei cultivation. Lotus emphasizes on a go what brother Bei and him people now are located under command her master. Now they can be free. Men, slightly coming to my senses, are rising with flaws and are heading to exit. They all understood and are ready leave. Ku wonders how Madame Chu treats Li with respect. Isn't he simply her a pawn or toy with which you can play really? Chen Beixuan did jumping to conclusions about Li and Lotus's relationship. Yang Xiao approaches the woman with pink hair and thanks her for being there saved there. If B. Lotus not appeared, Li inflicted would more problems on opinion a guy. Ian reports that the new director will be announced today's schools and offers Lotus join to this one ceremony. Really? Boy thinks what she not knows about this one event. Lotus surprises that fact. What Ian not knows who is new, the director and a shareholder schools. A man in glasses intervenes in the conversation of the two, who is sure that it is Xiao Kun. In his opinion, there is no candidate more worthy than Ian. About the main thing shareholder schools, man not assured, ago what those not take participation in management school in a straight line. Before this was engaged in this Xiao's father. Director Ma warns what Lotus must hold on away from Li, ago that he is just another member of the staff. He believes that the boy can become a maximum, a teacher, physical education, despite on skills and struggle. Lotus angry such advice. Burning from anger, a girl stops Xiaofan, addressing Director Ma directly. He must have forgotten what it means to be a teacher after he rotted for the last 20 years. Li believes what Ma not worthy where, rank teacher, refusing to help the needy student. Director Ma not understands what boy wants him say. Li explains what the husband's services are no longer needed, so he can go away for now. Boy more politely asks about it. Indignant, Director Ma reminds Li that Li is only a trainee and has no rights chase him. To a man ridiculously from that as boy deceives himself thoughts about that can get rid of Ma. Li asks to be fired. To a boy brings out from himself this one conversation and he with swing hits by hand on face Director Ma. Man not is waiting such courage from a guy, and what he about himself thinks in return, Li hits husband more time in order to show own power over by him. Now boy understands why Lotus to everyone offenders ordered slap themselves. This method of education can be considered quite satisfactory opinion Li, all of them surrounding any knot. They can go out from state of shock, Xiaofan in general crazy today. What this awkward person itself do you allow, Director Ma considers Li silly. Only, but man wishes something to add in answer to a boy, but that again starts him beat. On this time, not ceasing. Lotus quietly is watching from the side, and baffled Ian not knows as him respond on it. Qingshuang yells at the boy to stop. He can't just do it, beat someone ago, what a criminal deed. Girlfriend girls, Xiao wants to, in order to call the police, in order to they were arrested Li. Ian Xiao asks in Xiaofan, or considers that, what all you can solve by force? He promises to a boy what that more will regret about what was done. Under time, active discussions of behavior Li in rooms comes in Grandfather Lotus. Several more men are following him, by which it is clear that they are occupy not the last place in society. Director Ma appeals to one of the men for revenge to the boy by beaten up face. He holds on by cheek, which from blows as if poured by flames. Man is falling on lap before the main, the director Yang, chipping away by him leg. Ma calls the warehouse worker a criminal and asks to be sent away offender to prison for causing harm. But Yang asks Director Ma to calm down and congratulate the biggest one shareholder schools, Mr. Chu Tianzheng. By part-time, this man is Grandfather Lotus. He becomes also on lap before Li. Grandfather Lotus apologizes by delay because he could not come earlier because he had urgent business. Man hopes what Li not gets upset by small failure. Boy responds what all it trivia. A go man decides to announce everything that Mr. Li will be the next headmaster of the aristocratic school Xiaofan. The shareholder asks for loud applause, but surrounding undoubtedly not as satisfied. We will hear. They think what man accidentally was wrong by name. Yang Xiao asks his father if it is true that Li became the director because he promised this one position's Sun Man says, in order to Ian let go it, ego, what they nothing can act from by the Chu family. Grandfather Lotus adds that their family has decided to buy back all the shares and sacrifice the hostess Xiaofan. From now on, this one school fully belongs to a guy. This information puts everyone present in a stupor. They remember how they were treated himself with Li, and what by it them may be now. Director Ma not endures this saying, what with him enough. King Shuang notices that not only Lotus but also the director are treated to Xiaofan with respect. Really? He always was so good. Why girl, this not did you see? What she has do now.